Oh, there's Dad. And right behind him, what do we got there? Oh, baby. New equipment days are always the best. Look at that thing. That there is our, we're 2016, I think it is. 4440. Let's go have a closer look. Pretty sweet. So we got the 710s, and I think those are 320s. Almost look a bit thicker. It might be 385s. I can't remember. His sprayer, he gets the maiden voyage. I don't know if he's got it revved out or not, but it sure is. I was about to say quieter until the reversible fan kicked in. Alright, here's the new addition to the, I shouldn't say addition, but upgrade to the fleet. We traded the 3330. That was, I think, an 09 on this 4440, which is a 16. Almost everything about this guy is upgraded, from the tires to the cab to the tank to the boom. Like, we used to have 650s and 320s for tires. Now we have the 710s and 380s. I actually didn't know they were going to be 380s. Hey, valve bodies. We used to have the old style Wilgers. These are, there's Case IH. I think they actually are Wilger here, but this is a T-Jet, and these two are Wilger. But we had two-way bodies, and you had to switch them back and forth, whereas these you can just change like that. We only have one jet on them right now. We have our spare fungicide tips, and we're probably going to order some others. The side fill is similar. It's just they did away with the foam tank completely, and I'm trying to remember. I think it used to be this was teed in, and you had to. There was another switch or valve for that. But this actually has right here just a hand rinse tank, so right there, and then this is your rinse tank, which is now on top of the tank instead of tucked low underneath the cab, which I really like. Toolbox is the same. They've actually added these posts on this side. Before, I had a cable run over for hooking up to our chem pump. I probably will do it again because I like the quick connect ends. We've upgraded to 120 feet boom and a 1200, and I think they're actually a 1250 gallon tank. We have AIM Command Pro, which is kind of a mid-level, low-end version of AIM now. Like, it was top of the line 4 or 5 years ago. Now because there's conventional, then there's AIM Command, then AIM Command Pro, AIM Command Flex for 4, and there's an AIM Command Flex upgrade. So not a whole bunch terribly different. The boom style is a lot different. The way it folds up, you can see a lot better out of the cab, but at the same time it's a little bit tighter when it's folded up on both, even the other side with the walkway. I'll get there in a moment. I do like that they have a battery disconnect now. The old one didn't. This one has front fill option as well. Now let's go. And the cab is totally different layout. I shouldn't say totally different, but very different layout. Oh, another thing that came on this guy is these boom end drains, which is nice. This is the spot where I was telling you it's pretty narrow. So we will see on that. It's got the upgraded lights. Just not 100% sure how that's going to be. I have some old LED lights off the sprayer, off the 3330, that I may put on as well. I might put a light bar. I do have a light bar. I just have to build a mount to be kind of over, give a good clearance of that satellite receiver. One thing I'm not really happy about, but that's just all new equipment. Diesel exhaust fluid in the cab. This is the luxury surveyor cab, I think is what they call it. So it's all leather. It's a lot bigger because like this used to be under here, and the old one was the water tank or like the rinse tank. So now there's a lot more room. The right hand controls are almost identical, except for this park brake used to be over on there was some buttons over there they did away with. So yes, layout is definitely better, but all the controls are almost the same. They moved the climate control from down there as well to up there, which I like. Power mirrors. There was some, well, they almost took all the controls that were down there and put them up here, which is great because on the other one there was just a tiny little cubby hole. It had a couple power outlets, but it was just kind of almost useless space. Power mirrors. All the lights are up there instead of down here. I like that. There's way more vent controls on the front, so you can get pointed the right way, because the other one didn't have a ton. The right hand post is pretty much identical, except it's got an additional spot here. That's where it shows your def and alerts and whatnot. We have Raven Viper 4 on this one. It's the Case version. Super excited for that. Also a bit intimidated because it's a completely different setup than what we ran before. That's the AIM module. And I'm thinking probably here on this bar hanging down is where I'm going to run my what's it called? Climate field view. I don't think it'll fit up. Maybe. We'll see. I've got a pipe for that, or a ram mount for that. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to, I still might be able to move this to the side. I don't know. It's just, to get an iPad here won't fit because of this bar. I would have loved to have the iPad sitting where that is and this somewhere else, but we will just have to make do. So that's just a quick rundown. We'll talk about performance later. I was hoping that there was going to be a mount here for the radio. I might have to get... Oh, there is a... They had a radio in here before, so I'm just going to have to figure out where to put it. Probably down there. Somewhere. So, some projects that we have for it, like, we didn't have them... They did a inspection on it, but they did some work. Most of the stuff that was of concern was stuff that we could handle, so I said, oh, don't worry about it. So that external manual valve, you can see, I kind of can't right there. The hose up to it broke off. Usually a sign that it froze. And the gauge doesn't go to 0, so we'll get a new gauge. I have to install... Oh, wrong way. So climate field views going in on this guy. So essentially we're going to have 3 systems in the sprayer we got to learn this year. Which is the Viper, which there's lots of YouTube stuff out there. The Aim Command Pro, again, fair bit of stuff on YouTube about it. And then climate field view, again, actually, of all things, there's probably... Climate Field View has the most stuff on YouTube. Very instructional. Quite excited for that. I do like these foot pegs. I must say, I really like where those foot pegs are. The brake pedal's a bit bigger. And there's a, oopsie, toolbox here. You can see they did our little checklist. This, I kind of wish wasn't there. I think I said before, I'd like to have a flat spot where I can put manuals and write. I don't like writing on leather seats. Minor. We'll change out the hoses on that and the rinse tank. This one's actually in good shape, but there's a split on the other side. I don't know what that, just a gouge, looks like somebody hacked it with a knife. And what else? Oh, I've got cameras that are going to go on because you cannot see behind this thing at all.